stretch. Hmm? Just a simple stretch, ladies. Simple stretch. Outside there. Can we all go to the banking area? Um, yeah, to the banking area. It's a very simple stretch. Don't take the chairs, please.
Carol could dance till today.
She can. Where's Carol? Carol?
You see, we have very many Carols. So when you say Carol,
So which Carol we're talking about?
there is some Carol in black.
There's a Carol in black. Where's that Carol? Ashwa, she's back in here.
She's around, but
for career growth and also in life. We are very, very pleased to have Susan Sibira. Susan, you're most welcome to the bank. Susan is one of those ladies with many accolades to her name, and she's going to tell us all these things about herself. And then us as the upcoming, we need to ask and get something from her, just to know how did you get there, what sustained you, what difference did you create? Many, many years ago, I had the pleasure to work with Susan, and she left an impression on us. When she came, she was coming from MTN Uganda, and she asked us a question. How many of you know MTN Uganda in full? And I'm going to ask the same question today. How many of you know MTN in full? We have grown up just calling it MTN. And what was she teaching us? The power of brands. And because of her, the company I was working for changed its name. We changed our name to the brand name, and that is how we're called. Thank you very much, Susan, for teaching us about branding. And I'm praying that to these ladies, you have an impact and teach them more about branding and how to position themselves. And I know they are so looking forward to listening to you. You're most welcome. We're waiting for the ED. She's on her way. But just before she comes, I've been told that we have another activity to engage the ladies. So when we call upon you, just come like you did. I hope you enjoyed the dance. And I'd be glad if this number came every Tuesday and Friday. The bank does this for us. Why shouldn't we embrace it? Really. And every day we say we are tired. But we can just put aside 1 hour. You don't have to come for the 1.5 hours. Even if you just came for 30 minutes, it would make a difference in your life. We have been told by the health experts that certain things are for free. There is no medicine. You don't need medicine for them. And one of the things we don't need medicine for is exercise. We should not wait until the doctor prescribes it as a requirement for us to live longer. We can also live to be 100, but we just have to do things the right way. So I'm kindly encouraging every one of you here to join us every Tuesday and every Friday. If you cannot do the both days, then you can just pick on one and just come and have fun. Dancing is fun. I'm sure you saw the guys, Ibra and Calvin, do it like they don't have bones. So if they can do it, what about us? Yeah, I'd love to see Winnie take the lead, and Lona, and Pam, and Carol, Sanyu. We just want to see you come and make a difference. Encourage all your friends to come. Sunni, that day you come. I'll be very, very excited to No, you don't come and look at us. You're going to teach us one thing or two about how you do it in your place. Yeah, and then we all be happy and merry and live longer and healthier lives. Just remember that we sit on our desks the whole day, 8 to 5. And it's worse for people who have cars. Some people even just walking to the ladies is a job. When they tell you to come from the branch to go to 7th floor, you frown. The first thing you look for is the lift. When we said no lifts during COVID, you should have seen people sweat. And we're still saying, guys, avoid the lift. I find people on the lift going to first floor. Ladies, we need to style up. First floor, really? And someone is panting. No, Madam Carol, no. We need to do better than that. So let's all embrace exercise. The bank has paid for us. We don't have to ask. We don't even ask you for 1,000. But when you fall sick and you have to do it, it becomes more expensive because you're already sick and you have all these issues. The baggage that comes with sickness. We have very good food at lunch. When Doreen is looking at people's files, when we look at those photos, we just say, this bank is good. You see a small Sanyu that joined in so many years ago and the Sanyu today, and you just marvel, you say, DTB is good. Employer of choice. Yeah? When I look at Sheila, the Sheila that walked into the bank a few years ago and the Sheila today, she just smiles. I keep saying, milk and honey in the bank, in DTB. Yeah? Why? Because we have very good food, isn't it? But we need to exercise and burn some of those calories that we have gained and become healthier. I am not saying lose weight. I'm only saying be fit. Are we together? There's a difference. You don't have to lose weight, Winnie. But when they say they are chasing us out of this building, you should not be the last one. We need to see you as the first one because you're able to run. Are we together? So let us all embrace this thing. It is good, it is healthy, and the bank has offered it to us. When they ask you for the benefits that you have, in addition to food, you should say also exercise. Isn't that it? Tell guys that in that bank, in DTB, we have sukuma. And bring more people so that they come and enjoy the dance. Okay, Sharon, I'm handing over to you for that next activity for the ladies. Thank you very much.
A hand clap for Carol. Louder hand clap for Carol. Thank you very much, Carol. How many of us are very excited about today's theme? How many? And it's a full house, ladies. Thank you so much.
Do you think they even know the theme?
By the way, who knows the theme today?
I think she does. What's the theme today?
What again?
Okay, in English, not in Luganda. The theme in English.
Who knows the theme?
It is how to position yourself for growth in career and in life.
Thank you so much, Violet, for the theme. So the theme is not Kwetega as such, but it's in English, the Kwetega in English. How to position yourselves.
For what?
How we're going for career growth, right?
And what?
Michael
MC.
Yes.
No. Vivian,
how to position yourself
in
career growth and in life, right?
She's also not sure. Vivian, I don't know. Okay, so As we wait for ED to come to join us, Vivian, kindly take us into our next activity.
In our next activity, I know most of us here are talented, right? Most of us here have been in the bank for more than 10 years, 5 years, right? And I believe we've passed through a lot of challenges, which some of us have withheld, learned. At this juncture, I can invite Mama Pamela to give us a few words to tell us how she has endured, how she has been in this bank, how she has positioned herself to grow from where she is to where she is now, right? I guess we can learn all from her. Mama Pamela. Guys, the hands are not enough. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Good evening, ladies. It has not been an easy journey, but walkable. I joined DTB in 2009, having worked in 2 other places. I worked in Finance Trust. We were among the first staff of Finance Trust. I was a credit officer. And then I went and worked with MedNet, which is Vision Finance now, for 2 years. And then I came to DTB. How have I managed? It has not been easy, but what I do is I make sure I organize myself in a manner that I shop once in a month. I'm not talking about home and office, so that when I'm not there, the family can run. You all remember I went to Busia. When I was in Busia, my family never went to the market. I do my shopping, and then I leave and go. By the time I'm next returning, there will still be enough groceries in the house. Second thing is love your maids, because they are the second parents to your children. When I'm not there, my maid is like one of my daughters. I actually make her a daughter first, such that when I'm not there, my children are safe. My maid actually could take my son for immunization while I was not around. So those are some of the small tips. Loving yourself. I love myself so much. I relax a little bit, and then I put on a lot of weight. And then I lost that gift that God gave me, but it's coming back. Watch the space. Ladies, it's very nice to have a job. Please keep your jobs. An empowered woman is very, very much loved by the husband. For me at home, I don't have any issues. The love just flows. Why? Because I'm empowered. I'm financially smart. My husband calls me the microfinance wife, because the little monies that he wants will always be with me. It's just a call away. I support him in every way, small financial requirements. And so all his friends know me as Madame Banker, the small microfinance. In other words, let's also support our spouses financially. Things of the kitchen, he doesn't know the price of tomatoes. Because when I live here every Saturdays, there are those things I shop weekly. There are those small vegetables. He does not know the price of salt. He does not know how a saucepan, even where to buy saucepans, he doesn't know. So those are the small tips. So when love is at home, at office, you will always smile. I think people know me as the most talkative. I'm always happy. I don't have any hitch in my life apart from health. And the health is because I misbehaved and didn't follow certain rules, so I put on weight, and now my weight is overwhelming my bones, but I'm working on it. So thank you so much for the opportunity. I hope I have been able to help someone here with whatever I have said.
Thank you very much.
Yes, but above all in life, be an empowered woman. Be an empowered woman, because it attracts a lot of respect from all aspects of life, wherever you walk. Actually, let me give you a little story of my neighbor's child who has grown. She's in Namagunga now, senior 3, who has grown to say, I want to be like Auntie Pamela. Who is Auntie Pamela? The one who drives in and out of home. The one who is always organized, because whenever they come to my house, there are bananas, there are biscuits, there are these things, these little things. So she challenges the mother, why don't you also be like Auntie Pam? Unfortunately, the mother doesn't have a job, so that's always the difference. The mother said, but you see, Auntie Pam works, and for me, I don't have a job. So please, ladies, let's keep our jobs. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Pamela. A hand clap for Pamela, ladies. DJ. Thank you very much, Pamela, for that amazing tip. Ladies, as empowered women, we need to keep our homes also moving, eh? Right? Right? Okay, so I would like to invite our ED, the lovely Lady Mbavazi. A hand clap for her.
Hello, ladies. Hi, those at the back. Good to see all of you. It's so good to see the numbers. When we were organizing this, we were saying, will people come? But thank you for coming. Thank you all for making time. Thank you. So my role is very simple. Just to introduce, there's a program we're working on with HR. It's called Girls for Girls. We want to empower girls to grow. We want to empower all of you to be able to take on leadership positions and be able to lead where God has put you. So we're going to start a program during the year. We'll call upon different people so that it will be in phases. If you're not in this intake, you'll be in the next intake, but it will be a 6-week program with different topics: courageous leadership, the art of communication. How do you communicate to your boss, however bad they are? How do you communicate to them? Why don't you stand for public office? Why aren't any of you standing when we call upon people to stand for head of something? Why aren't the ladies applying for these jobs? So we want to go through these different topics to be able to empower you and to encourage you that there are people who have been there before. They've gone through so many struggles. But you're not alone. But they have reached there. If you want a salary increase, how do you start? Are you going to go and say, now, boss, now you see, boss, you see, no. How are you performing? Can they see it by your works? How do you talk? How do you, many things. And we want to encourage you because there's a place for all of us. All of us are unique. We have unique skills and we can lead. All of us can lead because God has empowered us as women with a certain skill that's different from everyone. So we're going to introduce it. We'll call upon you to enroll. We might be meeting on Saturday afternoons. It's a sacrifice, but believe me, it is a sacrifice that you will, it's an investment that you make. It's an investment that you'll be making for 6 weeks, and you'll get a certificate after which you'll be able to use. You probably have heard about it from different circles. Girls for Girls. I was a mentor with Girls for Girls in Namagunga. We went to mentor girls in Namagunga, S5 and S6. And they're going to be great leaders. And it's because we want great leaders in DTB as well. We don't want few people at the leadership level. We want the ladies to grow. I want to be able to say, no, this person can be able to take on this role. No, they can. You see them. And I don't even have to vouch for you. People will say, in fact, that girl. I'll give an example. We're in a meeting yesterday, and they talked about a certain lady. I won't mention her name. And they said, this lady, we put her there, but the changes that have been made there, difficult people have been given to her, but the way she has turned them around. And I was so happy that I said, what's the sex of the person? I was just being sarcastic. I said, what's the sex of a person? He said, it's a lady. I said, okay, what is unique about this person? I said, there's just something. Ladies, there's something about us that even with a difficult person, you can turn them around. If you go through the right leadership skills and the right discussions. Yes? Okay. So that will come, we'll be able to communicate with you and start the process. But thank you all for coming once again. I'm so excited to see all of you looking lovely in bright colors. Thank you. So, our speaker of today, I want all of you to listen. This lady, you must have all heard about her in one way or another. She's called Susan Nsibira. Her grandfather, I'll start from there, was a Katikiro of Buganda. A Katikiro of Buganda. So, the Baganda, you're okay. Then, apart from that, in her own right as a person, Susan has stood out. I wish they had brought her CV so that we read from her. Not that she's well-learned and etc., but the things she has gone through. She used to work at an embassy where she speaks French. She knows French. She can rap for us a bit in French. From there, she went to MTN at the time. Even before MTN, she was in Scanad, a marketing agency. I think that time some gentlemen who are in marketing taking pictures here were still like were just being mentored. From there, she went to MTN as a head of marketing. MTN at that time everyone wanted to work in MTN. But she grew the brand to where it is. From there, she joined a bank. She joined commercial microfinance. From there, she joined DFCU, head of marketing. So she understands the struggles we go in as ladies in banking. From DFCU, she went to New Vision. And she was the head of marketing, New Vision. It is a leading newspaper in Uganda, okay, apart from the Daily Monitor, which we are affiliated to, but she was part of it. And she's on the board of Daily Monitor right now, affiliated to us. So she's a woman of, she's experienced a lot. If I can tell you her age, and you look at her now, Susan, you'll allow me. Susan is 51. She's 52. 52. But you look at her, ladies. Even me now, I think I'm feeling older than her. I feel like I look older than her, you know? But she has kept herself, she's going to share with us how she has remained beautiful. She has natural hair. That is her hair, ladies, natural hair. Sorry. That is her hair, as beautiful as she is. How did I know Susan? I knew Susan from, I think 2000, 2001. I think 2000. I met my husband. Open your ears, open your minds, open your hearts to hear from Susan Nsibira. Welcome, Susan. She's a singer and has a beautiful voice. Pressure.
Pressure, pressure, pressure. Hi, ladies. Mbabas, if I had known you're not going to introduce me, I would have given you the script. But I'm so glad to be here. In all the years I've known your ED, this is the first time she has invited me to speak officially. So I think now I've come of age. I think now she trusts that I can do a good job. So I'm truly honored and privileged to be here. And I'm glad that you guys are here in large numbers. I speak a lot. I don't know if I need this microphone, but I see people at the back there. You may not, but I'm a regular speaker. So I hope that I will do the topic justice. Mbabazi has talked a lot about my career and the many years I've been working. I don't know where the years went. To be quite honest, I don't know where they went. If you ask me, like, are you 52? I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't know. I am, yeah, you know. You know, when you're in the gym and you're putting in your age on the treadmill, you're thinking, the other day I was entering 35. Now I'm entering 52, you know. But I think the beauty about really what I can say is, it's like, I think the older you grow, the more you actually realize how life is so beautiful. And I think today I would not exchange anything for my age, because now it's just so beautiful. Like, I am so comfortable in my skin. Like, I'm not, you know, when you're young and you're trying so hard to please people and whatever. And, you know, if I stand here and I say, guys, it's not worth it. It's because, like, now I'm just so comfortable in my skin, in who I am. I know who I am. I know where I'm going. I know my, you know, the impact I can have in life and the legacy that I want to leave. And so I think I just wanted to share that that's just one of the benefits of growing up. I'm not going to say growing old. I'm just going to say one of the benefits of growing up. So I thank God for this opportunity. Okay. All right, cool, thanks. Do you think I can borrow that stool? So today we're talking about positioning yourself for growth. Thank you. Perfect. Positioning yourself for growth in career and in life. And I think, yeah, I'm a senior woman right now. I could say I'm a senior woman in career. And having worked, like she said, in all these different positions, and still working right now as a consultant and serving on different boards and training as well. So that's how I keep myself busy. And you see, the thing is that all of us want to grow. And I'm sure the numbers are here because all of us want to grow. And one of my sayings, one of the sayings I picked up a few years ago, and today I had to find out who actually said it. And I think it's somebody called William Burroughs. And I kind of paraphrased it, but it says, anything that is not growing is dying. When you think about it, especially because I do some farming on the side as well, when something is not growing, it is dying. And in life, we can actually get into a space where we are not growing. We are stagnant. We are not moving in any direction whatsoever. And it's really it's for us to understand that for growth to happen, there must be some kind of productivity happening somewhere, right? If I plant a seed of maize or something, you know, it's got to be watered. You've got to do some pruning, some digging around it and all that. Sufficient it has to be looked after. Apart from that, if that doesn't happen, you know, the maize, it will just come up and then it will be stunted. And so even as we're talking today, I just want us to think about our lives in that regard, that there is an effort. There are things that must be done even as I've walked this career path for over 25, coming to 30 years, there are things that must be done, because the Susan that left university in 1992 cannot be the same Susan that's standing here. There must be growth. If there must be some kind of growth. I can't be having the same conversations that I was having as an innocent 21, 22-year-old. I can't be having the same kind of like naivety and mindset. There's got to be growth. I have to be able now, as Susan, to stand up and have conversations literally with anybody. If you put me in front of a president or a prime minister, I should be able to hold my own. I should be able to stand up and talk about things that matter. And yet that was not expected of me when I was 21 or 22, right? So that's the whole journey of growth, that there has to be an effort. There has to be things that we do as us to supply growth to ourselves. When we are young, our parents, those of you who are mothers, you know that you're part of the growth cycle of your children. There are things that you do for your children to make sure that they grow. But after a while, they must be able to, you don't do the homework for them. You know, when you start, maybe you're helping them with the homework, but after a while, they should be able to do the homework for themselves, and after a bit, you don't even look at the books. Maybe they just call you to school, because that is growth. And anytime something is not happening, even with your child, then you get to the point where you're like, something is wrong with this child. Why are they can't write. They cannot write, something is wrong, and then you intervene. So even us in our career path, there are things that there must be growth. Even in us as people, there must be growth. Now, I will put a disclaimer here that age is not significant of growth. True? Age is not significant of growth. You can be 50 years old, but you're acting like a 20-year-old, right? And yet you can be 20 and you act older than your age, right? So which means that we have to start with a very crucial point of understanding that as human beings, we're made up of mind, body, and spirit. Yeah? Mind, body, and spirit. I know you wanted to say so. Soul, spirit, and body. Let me break it down. Soul, spirit, and body. Yeah? So we can concentrate so much on, we see this body, and this body grows, and then after a while it starts decaying, right? Which is why, at a particular age, you struggle to lose weight because things start now sagging. Before they were tight, then now they are sagging. The boobs which were as if, then they start, that's not on the video, sorry about that. Anyway, so the body itself grows, and then after a while it starts decaying. But when we are thinking about it, because our soul and our spirit are housed in this body, we have to be aware of our body. There was, I think, Pamela here who was saying that she mistreated her body, and now she's paying the price, and now she's got to get back into it. Because to have a mind that is active and whatever in a body that is decaying, it means that, when they stand here and they say, please look after your body, please come for the exercise, the bank is paying for you, it's because this body, we only have one chance with this body. Like one chance with this body. I came from a near-death experience, and E.D. Mbabas is really aware of that, where I almost died. Like I was like this close to death. And because of that, it made me really appreciate this body when you're sick in the hospital, guys. When you're sick in the hospital, and the only thing you have is a hospital gown. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter how many things you own, how many things you whatever. At that point in time, you just want to get better. At that point in time, you just want to get better. And so it becomes then for me like an ambassadorial thing to tell people, please take care of your bodies. Because the day it starts shutting down, you will wish you listened to all this advice and you came for sukuma and dance and your heart is in good shape. So we really have to take care of our bodies. So even as we're doing all these other things, I really have to put that in, that part of growth is actually understanding that the maturity is understanding that you need to take care of your body, right? Those of you who are still young, please do it while you can. Watch what you eat, exercise, sleep well, avoid those stressful things, because when your body starts shutting down, you will look for every single advice in the book. If they tell you drive to Koboko because this health drink is there, you will drive there, you know. But here when they say come and dance here, kidogo kidogo, you don't want to do it, yeah. Take the stairs and things like that. And so you need to be able to understand that taking care of your body is really crucial. And as ladies, you know, you want to be able to see your children's children. So let's take care of our bodies. Okay. So the other bit of us then that we realize that we've got to be aware of is our soul. So our soul is what really relates to our mind, our emotions, and our will. And the mind is really an interesting thing, because when it comes to speaking growth, you realize that, you know, when we're going through school, we read, we study, blah, blah. Then after that, we do maybe the first degree, maybe we'll do the second degree, then we stop. We just stop. Most of the things that we read is just social media, whatever. We don't read anything to build our minds. And you see, the mind itself, when it's not exercised, it also starts decaying. Okay? In case you didn't know that. So as part of the things that we have to do, and we're talking about positioning ourselves, what do we do with our mind? How often do you read a book? There's what they call mental growth, where you read and you exercise the mind. You do crossword puzzles, things that your mind doesn't become stagnant. Now we're living in a time where, you know, I go to work, I get on my phone, first thing in the morning, I scroll through social, I watch as many videos, blah, 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 blah. But the mind is not really working. The mind is not working. And so if you're looking to position yourself, one of the things that you're going to look at is your mind. Your mind, to grow your mind as well. What area of life are you interested in? And to read fiction, read non-fiction, read a book. Nabagereka launched a book the other day. Read the book, read biographies. Just read. We're a culture now that's short on reading, and so because of that, even our language is getting to that point where it stops developing because we are not reading. True? And I read something I wrote in my notes the other day, that every time you speak, you are auditioning for leadership. Every time you speak, you're auditioning for leadership. So when you open your mouth, what are you saying? Depending on the room that you're in, you are auditioning for leadership. It's like spotlight is on you. Bam. Okay, speak now. Like you see, Spice Diana, her latest song, the concert. Okay. You're in the bank. Tell me about the economy. Hey. Whoa. Okay, tell me about the central bank rate. Ooh. Which one? But you're a banker. Yeah, but me, you see, I'm in the banking hall, and you see, I do this in the banking hall. Okay. Tell us about the lending rate. Ooh, Tell us about the crisis now with banks. Silicon Valley Bank collapsed. Credit Suisse was sold. Tell us about that. Zero. But you are in the bank, and you are trying to position yourself to grow in the bank. So if I take you at a certain point, one day you're going in the lift and you meet a board member in the lift and they ask you a question, and then you start looking at the mirror in the lift, looking at the button, wondering when the lift is going to get to the floor you're going at. Like they've asked you a question, you have no idea what to say. So it's something about the mind that we have to work on. We have to work on those things. And not only things to do with the bank, but general affairs, general knowledge. You know, some of us, we get into the car, we come to the bank, we go to the bank, we go back. And then you tell somebody, okay, like general knowledge about things that are happening. Like general knowledge. There is parish development fund. There is a Mabati scandal going on. There is like general knowledge, generally. Like what's happening in this country, general knowledge. Mind. And then emotions. There's the point where as women, we need to be self-awareness of our mind, self-awareness of our emotions. Because you see, women are emotional beings. And many times women, we take long to understand that we have to learn to control our emotions. Positioning yourself for growth in career and in life, emotional management is absolutely crucial. Because women, we are emotional. Some of us, as soon as they tell you something, you go there and you start crying. Appraisal was bad, crying. Someone didn't look at you nicely, crying. Like we cry because women were emotional, and it is good. God gave us emotions, but you guys, in this world, this is a tough world. You get to a point where dry up those tears, smack yourself on the head, and get up. And I'm not saying deny your emotions, no. Acknowledge your heart, but for crying out loud, no tears in front of the boss. Hello. No. Your baby at home is crying. Now even you at work, you're crying. So who is who? So baby will look and say, Mommy, No. We get to a point, guys, emotional man, understand your emotions. You get to a point where you're like, what are the things that make me angry? What are the things that tick me off? And I beg you, just step away. Don't make a fool of yourself shouting at the boss. Do not, because those are things that will damage your career from point zero. And they are hard to recover from. And I learned this the hard way. And I speak this from experience because, as you can see, I'm a very passionate person. I speak passionately. And I like to think that I can get my point across. But I learned this the hard way at MTN when I was a really enthusiastic brand manager. And there was the head of customer service was a man. And they did something that I did not agree with. So I went to his office to get my point across. And I got there and needless to say, because I rehearsed that speech from about 6th floor, pack her down to... I rehearsed the speech so when I got into his office. And then I think he said something and I was just like, talk to the hand. And I did the walk, what I thought was a walk of fame. And then I think as soon as I was like, okay, Susan, what the heck was that? So I went back and I apologized, but the damage had been. There comes a point where there's a promotion. The job is advertised and it's like they took my CV and they did the job description and like I saw the job on the internal job and I was like, Susan, this is you. They took my qualifications, everything. I went into the boardroom. And this is like maybe a year or so later. Who was on the panel? Ooh, men, including him. Yeah. Needless to say, I didn't get that job. But the point I'm trying to make here is that we've got to learn to manage our emotions. Know your weak spots. You understand? Know your weak spots and don't let them get the better of you. Grow up. Grow up. If you know you're the crying kind, tell yourself, I am not going to be the crying kind again. If if you know you're the sulking kind, I beg you, like you think the world revolves around you? Grow up. Sulking. If you're this type who walks in and you don't talk to people because you had a bad day, you walk in, no. Hello. Are you okay? Earphones. That you can spend a whole day without talking to anybody. But you forget that the people who are going to support you on the way up are the same people you're refusing to talk to. So learn to manage your emotions. The world does not revolve around you. This bank was here before you were born, and it is going to be here after you die. So learn to manage your emotions. And then I'm going to talk about your will. Now, with your will, this again is a very, very, because it's closely related to how you react to situations. Because you see, human beings, God created us with a choice. Everything, like you made a choice to come here, right? It wasn't mandatory. They just said, Women's Day engagement, come. You came. You made a choice. This morning when you are waking up, you made a choice as to what blouse you're going to wear, which jeans you're going to wear, the way you're going to style your hair. Everything about us in life is a choice. Everything. But you see, sometimes when it comes to now how we relate to others, we almost want to think that we don't have a choice. When someone says, who did this? Ah, man, that chick made me mad. I just had to shout at her. I couldn't help it. You had a choice. Everything in life is a choice. Everything in life is a choice. Everything. How you react to others. The minute you say, I couldn't help it. And I was reminded that those of us who read the Bible, the day they asked Eve in the garden and they said, why did you eat the fruit? And then she said, the snake. And then when they asked Adam, why did you eat the fruit? He said, the woman. Ever since that time, even us, every time they ask you, but why did you do this? You will find a way to blame somebody else. We blame everybody else but us. Why are you late for work? The traffic. The rain. We have a reason to blame everybody, and as such then, we don't take responsibility for our own actions. Now, if we're going to position ourselves to grow, at a certain point we've got to realize that we can't blame people for everything that goes on around us. We'll blame the maid, then we'll blame the husband, then we'll blame the taxi, then we'll blame the border, then we'll blame the what, then we'll blame, if we can't, then we'll blame the government. We'll find a way of passing the blame on. But when do you take responsibility for your own actions? When do you realize that, I could have woken up earlier, if I'd woken up earlier, Like there is always, in our will, that there is a choice that we can make and we don't pass responsibility on. Because you see, the higher you go in your career, the more responsibility that you're given, right? And how long are you going to keep blaming people for what's going on in your life? How long will you keep blaming people for what's happening in your life? So, self-awareness, if we're going to position ourselves for growth, self-awareness is absolutely crucial in terms of who we are, understanding ourselves, understanding our weaknesses, understanding even our temperament, understanding, are you short-tempered? How do I think through things? So self-awareness is absolutely crucial. Knowing your strengths and knowing your weaknesses as well. But then there's also the part where, we have God, all of us, God created us with an intuition, right? That's our spirit. Where sometimes there are things that you know. Like nobody has to tell you. And women, our intuition, you've got to develop your intuition, by the way. Because intuition is that sense that will get you out of trouble at the time. It is that intuition is that thing that I was about to leave the house, then I stayed home, I was doing something, I decided to go back, then when I came back, I found that there was an accident right outside my door. That's intuition. All of us have got intuition. God gave us intuition. And we've got to get to that point where we grow that intuition and we develop that intuition, because as we grow in our career, we are going to need it. True? We're going to need it. Because sometimes someone will sit in front of you and the only thing that is going to save you when everything looks right is your intuition. In terms of your decision making, when you've thought about every single aspect, you've asked for advice all over the place, the only thing that you have left at that time is your intuition. So you've got to grow your intuition, because part of growth in career and life is decision making. And at a certain point, your decision making is going to be based on your intuition. On that gut feel, we call it gut feel, right? That gut thing where you look at somebody and the person is looking so nice, so handsome. Everybody else tells you he's the one. And all your friends are like, but what? Come on. Trust your gut, because it will save you. Trust your gut. So that's another area that we need to develop. As women, and women, our intuition, but the men are flat out, they are flat clueless when it comes to intuition. It's something that God gave us to women. It's like, whoo, He gave it to us in super measure. I think because men are more logical in their thinking, things have to make sense, this 1 + 1 has to be 2. But for a woman, 1 + 1 can be 3. And I can prove it, and I can prove that it is 3. It doesn't matter what, I can prove that it is 3. So we've got to, because we have it and it's inborn and it's innate, it's something that we've got to develop. We've got to develop our intuition. Trust it one time, it will let you down. Okay, fine. Trust, learn to trust your intuition. Okay. So, I'm talking a lot. The other thing that we need to understand as we're positioning ourselves for growth is to understand the wheel of life. How many of us are aware of the wheel of life? The wheel of life it's like a wheel, but it has me in the middle, you in the middle. It's got your financial and career. So if you're looking say at a bicycle tire and the different spokes in the wheel, on the tire wheel. Okay. You've got financial, career, you've got mental and educational, you've got physical and health, you've got social and career, you've got spiritual and ethical, you've got family and home. That's what we call the wheel of life. So those are six spheres of your life. 6, if it's a pizza, if it's a round pizza, it's like slices of your pizza. Actually, that's a better way of saying it. It's like your pizza of life, right? So one slice is financial and career. The other slice is mental and educational. The third slice is physical and health. The next slice is social and cultural. The next slice is spiritual and ethical. And then the other slice is family and home. So as you're thinking of growth, you have to look at that pizza in its entirety. In terms of, if I'm growing in my career and my finances and everything, what's happening in my family and home space? Because what happens is, many times we end up living, the pizza slices are not equal, right? We can spend so much time on the social and cultural space. We are the party animals. Every party, we are there, boom. Every boom. Every outing, boom. Boom. Then you ask, okay, now the family, when do your people at home see you? You understand? When do your people at home see you? But then you've got, say, the mental and educational. Are you growing? Are you studying something new? Are you picking up a new skill? The time that you spend on all the social and cultural, can you spend more time picking up a new skill? What new skills do you need? Some of us, when we started out marketing, there was only one TV station, UTV, one Radio Uganda, with red channel, blue channel, green channel, and I think newspaper. When I did mass comm at Makere, that was it. And now every time, if I'm going to remain relevant in this marketing space, now I have to sit, and today if you ask me about the latest AI technology in marketing, I've got to know it. These are not things that are taught in school, but I've got to see that I'm keeping up to space with whatever is happening in my field. And so in the same way, mental and educational is something that we talked about. But then also physical and health, I've talked about that in the body. Family and home. Many times we think that as we're growing our careers, that family life has got to suffer. I think Madame Pamela has here told you that she has no hitches at all. That there's a way in which you can grow your career without letting your family suffer. Because I don't know where we get it from that growing our careers has to be at the expense of family. We have to understand that it doesn't have to be at the expense of family. What we need to do is figure out how do we balance it out. And then, of course, there's the spiritual and the ethical side. The spiritual side is how you relate to God. You can have all these other things, but there's that one thing that is missing. I'm glad that you guys started out here in prayer. Because how you relate to God is also important in that pizza of life. And there also has to be growth in that area as well. It's one area that if you neglect, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be like, oh my God, why did I neglect the area of my spiritual and ethical life? That is also the part that governs your integrity. If you're working in a bank, especially, I was talking to some bankers, I think yesterday, and I said, we are living in a time where the public trust and bank is, we're having a love-hate relationship right now with banks. Because you hear all kinds of stories of fraud that's happening in banks, right? All kinds of stories. And all of us know that in a bank, you know that once you do that, you know, your career is gone for life. But there's that spiritual and ethical part that then guards what you're doing as a banker. So if you're at any one point in time, some customer comes with some deal and say, you know, do this, do this, do this. There's that part in you that's, what's the point in me doing? Am I going to lose my life and my entire career because of a few million shillings? Which Ugandan shillings, by the way, they don't last very long. I mean, even a deal of 300 million, by the way, in one day you can wake up with that 300 million. You don't even have 1 shilling. Because money that is quickly earned like that is as quickly lost. It's a principle. Look at anybody who has won the lottery. The other day, as people, if you read stories of people who have won lotteries, someone can win £1 million. Like when you think of £1 million, you can say like 2 years later, they're back on dole. They don't even have 25p. Yeah? So, there's that ethical part that we also need to work on. So, self-awareness. Self-awareness as a key positioning strategy. The first thing I said, remember that you're made up of body, soul, and spirit. The other thing is that pizza of life. That pizza of life. Which slice are you eating larger than the others? And then the third part of positioning is understand the roles that you play in life. All of us have more than one role that you play in life. Some of you have your your notebooks and your pens. And so I'm just going to ask you to just quickly write down. List the roles that you have in life. Now, if you might say, and those are many. Like if I stand here today, I'll say I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm an auntie, I'm a consultant, I'm a trainer, I'm a leader at church. I like How many? There's so many different roles. If you have your pen and your notebook, just quickly write down for me. What roles do you play? What are your roles? What are your roles? At least 8. There have to be at least 8. What are your roles? If you have your notebook, if you can write, use your phone, the roles in your life. And because we're talking growth. We're talking growth. What are the roles that you play? And if you're done and you're willing to volunteer, please just put your hand up and then we'll hear from you. You're going to volunteer? Okay. That was fast. Did you read my notes before?
Hi, Susan. Thank you very much for sharing with us. My 8 roles, or not 8. I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a friend, I'm a marketer, I am a director for the events and the sponsorships at UMS. I'm looking at some. I'm a digital marketer.
Okay.
Those are my roles.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, the purpose, anybody else want to volunteer? Anybody else want to volunteer? Anybody else? That corner, that section there? Yes? Okay.
Flavia and Babas are my names. I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm a wife, I'm an auntie, I'm a church treasurer, I'm a daughter, and a banker.
Nice. Okay. Thank you. So, the purpose of that exercise, we're talking growth. So, understanding your roles in life, you will be able to understand that if you're going to grow, you have to grow in your roles. And those roles can change. One day, like now I sit on boards. A few years ago, I didn't sit on boards. But you now realize that as you look at your different roles, if you're positioning yourself to grow, you've got to understand that for you to be the person that God created you to be fully, that you have to grow in all those roles. Grow as a mother, grow as a sister, grow as an auntie, grow as a cousin, grow as a daughter, because that's what growth is. Remember I said that grow as a friend. Remember what I said at the beginning, that anything that is not growing is dying. If you neglect your role as a mother, your children, that relationship, something, you're going to pay the price. If you neglect your role, and you see, there are some roles that are more important than others, okay? And there are some that you have to do a bit more work than others, right? Like the spouse role, that one is a big one. But you also have to be growing. If you got married in the year 2002, is there growth in your role as a wife? There has to be growth. Otherwise, that relationship, by the way, is dying. The children leave the house, then you look at the husband, and then you say, who are you again? So you have to be growing in that role as well. And the key to figure out which relationships are important for you is an exercise that we do when we do 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And the exercise that we do is the 80th birthday. And they tell us, picture your 80th birthday. Right? Now some of you are in your 20s, you're like, God, that is far. Picture your 80th birthday. And imagine who is going to be around you at that point in time on your 80th birthday. Because all of us, growth really ultimately should lead to us, proud people in our 80s. We are happy, we are healthy in our 80s. That's essentially what we picture, right? So, it's your 80th birthday. And people are standing up to give speeches about you on your 80th birthday. Of course, those days 80 was big, but these days everything is big. 40 is big, 30, people are like, the last year in my 20s. You're thinking, wow. You're like, wow. You've achieved a lot. Anyway, so it's your 80th birthday because that's like a big milestone. And people are standing up and they're giving speeches about you. What are they going to say about you? If you're a banker, what are your peers going to say about you? If you're a mother, a wife, what is your husband going to say about you? For Pamela, we'll know that they'll say, small microfinance, Madam Small Microfinance. Yeah? They'll say she's organized. They'll say she plans for us. There's always something to eat in the house. Our mother is an organized woman, based on what she said. I'm sure there's a lot more, but based on what she said here, I gather that those are the kind of things that they'll say, right? So then you ask yourself, I'm a sibling. What will my siblings say about me? My supervisor, if my supervisor is alive at that point in time, what would he say about me? And you see, when you start having those deep conversations with yourself, you then realize that there's a lot in your life that needs to change. True? There's a lot. There's a lot in your life that needs to change. And then you realize that you can't make the change when you're 80. It's too late. It's too late. You've got to start now. You have to start now. So if you're looking to grow in your life, and so for me, when I did this exercise, there are certain relationships that I picked out. I picked out relationships like an auntie, because I have so many nieces and nephews. And one of the relationships I picked, I said, what do I want my nieces and my nephews to say on my 80th birthday? And I said, I want them to say that Auntie Susan is the best auntie in the entire world. Now, there are many of us. But I told myself that that's what I want them to say. So then I asked myself, okay, if that's what I want them to say, then what must I do now so that is what they say when I am 80? So now that determines my action, that I don't forget birthdays, that I send cupcakes, that I send cakes, I send gifts, I do ice cream dates. You understand? I have to be present because I'm working for that 80th. That's my legacy. You understand? So the other last year on Women's Day, my niece, one of my nieces had a project. And so she calls me in the morning as her dad is taking her to school. And she says, Auntie Susan, you're the best woman in this world. She has a mother. I told myself, I've arrived. I've arrived. You see what I'm trying to say? But there's work to be done. So growth, and I honestly have to tell myself that if I did gifts the other year, this year what can I do different? Because that's what growth is about. If I tell myself, when I did this exercise, I had no idea I was going to become a trainer. But then I told myself that I want to become a trainer. But not just a trainer. I want to be a trainer that has an impact on people's lives. You see? A few years ago, even 3 years ago, if you had asked me, Susan, are you going to, no, maybe not 3, because I'd made the decision in 2014. 10 years ago, if you had said, Susan, I would have said, no, me, I'm a marketer, whatever. But then I chose the path of training. But if I choose the path of training, then that means that there are skills that I need to develop. Do you understand? There are skills that I need to develop to grow as a trainer. There are skills so that when I stand, I actually have impact on people when I train them, and I've been practicing, and I know that one day this skill is going to take me in very big places. But that's because I have to work on it. The Susan who started training in 2013 can't be the same Susan who's standing here now. There has to be growth. And that growth comes from me putting in effort and putting in exercise and and learning new skills and improving myself and practicing until the stuff almost becomes like second nature to me. So that's what growth is about. So if we're going to position ourselves for growth in career, Those are the first three things. Self-awareness. Awareness about your mind, your body, your soul, your weaknesses, your temperament, whatever. Know what works. Know what you're passionate about. Know what you're good at. You know, all those things. The other thing is about your pizza of life. And then the third thing is the roles. The roles. The roles that you have. Because you see, when all is said and done, when we grow, career, life, my dad now is 80, he's turning 84 this year. But you know, the older you grow, the fewer the people there are around you. When my dad has a birthday party now, it is children, grandchildren, and that's it. You understand? So as we grow, we realize that yes, we want to grow in career. Yes, we want to grow in life. But at a certain point in time, the family relationships are going to be the only ones around you. True? So if you're going to grow in your career and then you sacrifice the family relationships, you're going to be a very lonely old person. True? You've seen those people whose children, there's a one of my I'd call him a mentor of sorts. But he did so much, and the reason is because I worked with him and that. But when his wife was sick and dying, is when he realized that he had no relationships at all with his children. Like, whatsoever. As in, like, the children came, I think, be around you. When this bank says, here's your retirement package, you go. You don't want to get home and people are like, who is this person? True? The beauty about it is that COVID tested us. COVID tested us because now we're at home. And we had the children, that's when people realized, hey, kumbe, this is my son every day. Because we discovered things about our children that we had no idea. Those of us whose children are in boarding school, for the first time we were in the same space. And family and the divorce rates went through the roof because husband and wife had never been in the same room for so long. There was no office to go to. There's a joke in our village there. There's a guy who, he drove to the roadblock and they told him, Sebo, go back home. He says, you put me in prison at least for the night. And the Chira police were confused. The guy was like, hey, just get me away from home. At least, and they put him in. Because he had contravened the rules for COVID and whatever. But he actually told them that, guys, just get me away from that woman and those children for a night. It was that bad. Let's not get into that, okay? So that's the first thing. The first thing is and I'm going to go through the others in a hurry. So the first thing is self-awareness, and it's really, really crucial. It's once you get that self-awareness angle right, you know, there are so many things that will go right for you. The second thing is to begin with the end in mind. Where do you want to go? Again, that 80th birthday thing. Where do you want to go? With your career, where do you want to go? Where are you going with it? What are the possibilities with your career? If you're a banking officer, what are the possibilities? Where do you want to go? Do you have a career path? Have you ever sat down and said, okay, this is where I am today. If I do this, perhaps I could do this, or maybe I could do this. Do you have a career path? If you don't have a career path, it's time for you to develop one now. Develop a career path. Develop a career path. And how do you develop a career path? One thing that you do is you evaluate your current position. Where I am now. How satisfied am I with where I am now? What's your level of satisfaction? Many times when you get into corporate workspaces and you ask people, how many of you are satisfied with where you are now? Very few hands go up. Because everybody is looking for what is not going right. I could have been doing it. But you've got to be able to ask yourself, I'm not satisfied. Why am I not satisfied with where I am now? Why? What is it that could change that would make me satisfied with where I am now? So evaluate your position, your current position, and look at how satisfied you are. And then look at your skill sets. Some of us have grand ambitions of becoming executive directors. But what are your skill sets? What are the skill sets that you have that are going to elevate you to the next position? Ever since you joined the bank, have you added a certificate to your name? If you go to the HR files, is there more to you than when you joined in 2009? Do you have more certificates? Have you done a few more courses? And we're living in an age where there is so much free information. So many free online courses. Like every day, if you wanted, you could even study a course every day. And I always challenge my people on my team at my workplace, at my work, at my consultancy, that I want to see every 3 months, I want to see a certificate on your file. I want to see a skill that you have picked up. Because I always tell them that if you guys are not growing, me as your team leader, I can't grow. Because it means that every time I have to be doing your work, I'm expecting you to grow and start pulling up, but I have to keep going back down. And so I challenge them and I tell them, you guys have to grow so that even me, I can grow. And I've been doing that with all my teams. At Vision Group, my team was 30 people plus. And I'll tell them, guys, I want to grow. I want to grow, but I can't grow if you guys are battling with the same things all the time. So if you want to position yourself for growth, one of the things, look at your skill sets. And look and see, what course can I learn? On LinkedIn, Alison, Manya, there are so many free courses. So many free courses. You can always add a certificate. You can always add a skill to your portfolio. I was looking at the top 10 skills of 2025 as shared by the World Economic Forum. And I'm just going to read them for you quickly. Analytical thinking and innovation. Active learning and learning strategies. Complex problem solving. Critical thinking and analysis. Creativity, originality, and initiative. Leadership and social influence. Technology use, monitoring, and control. Technology design and programming. Resilience, stress tolerance, and flexibility. Reasoning, problem solving, and ideation. Those are the top 10 skills of 2025. There's nothing there that says bachelor of degree in mathematics. The skills that people are looking for have to do with creativity, innovation, flexibility, problem solving. Some of us, even when they call you into a meeting and they say, we are going to discuss this problem, your mind is already closed. Boop. Like, they try and put in like a drill. Try and see it this way. Try. You're like, This is DTB. We've always done it this way, and this is how we are always going to do it. But flexible, nothing. You're stuck in your ways. Then after that, people start cutting you out of meetings. Because really, you're closed-minded. Boop. You're not open to other people's suggestions. It's like your way or the highway. Flexibility, adaptability, problem solving. They bring you a critical thinking. They bring you a problem and you say, can I actually solve this problem? And that's where the mind, remember I was talking about the mind. If your mind is in Nakasero market from January to January, your conversation cannot change to Kololo, even if you want. It can't. There has to be a point where you shift your mind. Where you shift your mind, and when you shift your mind, your conversations begin to change. So the skills that we need to develop, the skills that are going to take us to, if you're an MD, it's not so much about that. Many times by the time you're being interviewed, they're looking at problems that you solved. How do you lead? How do you lead? What is your influence on people? Are you a positive or a negative influence? If you want to grow in your career, better be a positive influence. There was a time there was somebody who was going to be given a job. And people called even from jobs this lady had left 10 years ago. And they called the HR and they said, do not hire that person. 10 years. They called the CEO. How can you think of hiring that person? When that person was here, she did A, B, C, D, E. Do not be that kind of person. Your influence must be positive influence. So the things that you do, remember I talked about will, emotions, the things that you do, make sure that you're leaving good smells where you are. Good vibes. You see what I'm saying? Because you see, you never know who is in the room. You never know who is in the room. Never know who is in the room. Even how you treat the askaris outside there, it matters. Because one day that askari may be the relative of the person who is going to employ you. Like, man, that chick, man. And then you lose a job because of how you treated a guard. Those things matter. And those are skills those are not things that are taught in class. They're not things that are taught in. So begin with the end in mind. And set your goals. Set your goals. You say, where am I going? Set your goals. Set your goals. Then the third thing you need to do along your career path is network. Get to know the people who are important, the people who need to take you to where you want to go. And start talking to them. I want to do this. I remember the time, because, when you're in marketing and you're stuck in marketing and you want people to start taking you, because people think marketing is about t-shirts, manyawat. And I struggled. Because here I am, serious, EXCO member, what? But people just think marketing. So I had to talk to a few people, industry leaders. I say, how do I get people to start taking me seriously? That yes, I'm marketing. I had to network and get advice from industry leaders on how people can start taking me seriously so they can appoint me on their boards. I had to network. So if career growth, life growth, network. Find those people, find out more information, and then have a plan. Have a plan. Have a plan. I want to do this. Have a plan. When are you going to develop that skill? When are you going to do that course? When are you going to meet that person? Which networking event are you going to attend? Have a plan. The biggest weakness we have as human beings is, like at the beginning of the year, all of us ladies, we say, I want to lose weight this year. Standard. There are very few ladies who are satisfied with their weight. So it's a standard resolution, want to lose weight. By March, it is no longer. Why? Because we did not do an action plan. The action plan should have said, I want to lose weight. First of all, how many kilos do you want to lose? First point, how many kilos do you want to lose? Next point, what am I going to do about it? Okay, I'm going to walk. I'm going to walk maybe to work 3 times a week. Or I'm going to watch what I eat. I'm going to cut out sugar. I'm going to stop eating as many cakes. I'll have 1 cheat day in a week. Actions which you can actually follow. Because that's the only way you can meet your goals. So don't just say, I want to become head of bank assurance, and it just stays there. And then you think by wishing, one day, by wishing, no. What skills do you need? And then make a plan, network, and see that you can actually get into that direction that you want to go. Look for help. Look for help. Look for help. There are mentors. There's G4G that's coming up here. Look for help. Find people to speak to who can help you. Even me at this level, there are people who help me. I'm like, I need to do this. I need help. Look for help. Find a coach who can help you. And then, of course, monitor your progress. It's one thing to have an action plan. You see, even in bank, performance, every time we see they've announced the results, people are monitoring the performance of the bank. So now you as an individual, why aren't you monitoring your own progress? You see what I'm trying to say? Monitor your progress. You said you would have done this by March 2023. Have you done it? Why not? Because every time, if the bank, let's look at the bank. If the bank was to just sit back, okay, there are some targets. Okay, okay. Then the next quarter, the board, we had some targets, what happened? This bank would not be here right now. True? Because so even as individuals, monitor your progress. If you said that you are going to do this by this date, for crying out loud, ask yourself, why haven't I done it? Why haven't I done it? Be your best buddy. Be your best monitor. Be your best class prefect. Be your best. Charge yourself. Charge yourself and say, I want to be here. I must do this by this date. And then make a plan. You see, even when you're building a house, those of you who have built houses or who have been building houses, I'll never forget the time when I was trying to build a house and I was stuck. And the only reason I was stuck is because there was no plan. The minute I sat down and made a plan, and I said, I am not paying this landlord rent from January 2010. I said, once this contract is over, the 4 months rent is done, I am not paying rent to this landlord anymore. And I set a date. Bah! Now I had no choice. Do you understand what I'm saying? I had no choice now to work backwards and say, okay, now, what do I need to do? I need electricity in the house. What do I need? I need water in the house. What do I need? I need to have at least a floor. I need the doors at least. And I moved into a house which was not the best, but I moved. But you see, because I set a date and then I monitored my progress. So even you, set your goals and monitor your progress. That's number 2 in terms of positioning. I think I'm going to end around here. The other thing which I must have, which if I'm going to end this, is you must have a positive attitude. If you're going to grow, you must have a positive. Let me tell you, a positive attitude will get you places, will open doors for you. A positive attitude will open relationships for you. A positive attitude will mend things that were not mendable. Having a positive attitude. Some of us are very miserable people to be around. When people see you, they run. They run. Because you are sulky, you are negative. Every time they say, can you do this? I can't. Why? Because I can't. Is this possible? It's not possible. Can we think like this? We can't. Everything that comes out of your mouth is, no, I can't, I am not able to, I will not, it won't work. So people don't even bring ideas around you anymore. Even when your friends want to suggest a girls' night out and they come girls' night out, you'll be the first one to say, I can't. It won't work. Guys, let's go eat ice cream. I can't. Even something as simple as ice cream, you have a reason to say why it won't work. So having a positive attitude is the last attribute I want to leave you with. If you're going to position yourself for growth in life. Because if you have a positive attitude, you're always going to want to give your best. Do you understand? You always want to give your best. One of the things I determined early on in life is whatever job I am given, I am going to do that job so well. So well that really at the end of it all, I pity the person who is going to come after me. I kid you not. That's what I told myself. And so because of that kind of attitude, and some of the jobs, but enthusiasm and positive, I assure you, when somebody says that I left a place and people are like, man, Susan, even now, people, Susan, can you come back, guys? I'm an old woman, almost retirement age, but you can come back at least for one day. Because that's the attitude that I decided to approach life with. To be my best. So that when they decide you're leaving DTB, by the way, they decide to throw for you fireworks and everything in between. And it doesn't matter at what level you're at. Have a positive attitude and do your very best. That attitude and the fact that you're doing your very best, one day your name will be mentioned somewhere. And you find yourself being called, and you're like, how did I get here? But it's because you decided to be your best, whether you're cleaning, whether you're tailing, whether you're the one smiling at customers, to be your very best. It will open doors for you.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you very, very, very much.
Can I just end with one thing?
Yes, please.
And I'm going to end with a quote.
I am not chasing you, Susan.
It is okay.
We still want you here.
No. I'm going to end with this quote. The real opportunity for success lies within the person. Your real opportunity for success lies within. Exactly. Not in your job, not in the different roles, but it lies within you. And so I pray that with those few tips that I've given you, you'll be able to chart your way to growth. Thank you very much.
A hand clap for Susan, ladies. She has given us so much. Susan, we are very humbled and honored to have you today here. And thank you for the words that you have spoken to us. And I believe these are things that we are going to practice, right? These are things that we are taking home. As Susan was sharing, I took a few notes for people maybe who were not able to hear her well. To be able to grow in career and in life, you must become self-aware. So ladies, homework for you today. So go back home and you look inside there and you try to find yourself. Who really are you? The pizza of life. Some of us are working too hard and we don't have a social life, me inclusive. So I'm doing so bad on the pizza of life, and to be able to know the roles, our different roles in life, right? So we need to go back home and sit down. I'm a pet parent, and I even forgot to mention my pet, so surely I'm also doing bad there. Having a positive attitude. A positive attitude will take you so far, ladies, like so far, just as Susan has mentioned. And then also, so whatever job that you do it so well. A hand clap, ladies. So, do we have any questions? I shall only take 2 questions because we are really time bad. 2 questions. 2 questions. In the pavilion, 2 questions. In the Chirasha, 2 questions. Anyone? Anyone? Are you sure that you understood it all? Linda? No?
Good morning. Oh my God. Good evening. Sorry about that. You confused me. Thank you so much, Susan, for today. It has been really good. My question is, you talked about growing your intuition. So I want more light about that. Your intuition.
Okay, 1 question down.
Thank you, Susan. Just maybe there are not some people are not asking this question, but I've experienced it in different levels here at DTB. I've been in DTB for 6 years. I don't seem to be growing. I try to talk. I'm not growing. I feel like I'm doing my best, but I'm not growing. Susan, what advice would you give me?
Edie, that question. Okay, thank you very much for speaking on our behalf.
Okay, the first question on growing your intuition. You've got to learn to take risks. If you feel your intuition, and that's how you learn that it's the right or the wrong move, right? So you make a decision and based on your intuition. And if it turns out to be right, you're like, oh, okay. So and the more you stretch your intuition, the more it rewards you. I don't know if that's a better way of saying it, yeah? So if you've got to stretch it out of like comfort zone and just take more risks with your decision making. And you soon learn, you begin to see the way your intuition guides you. Does that answer your question? So take more risks is how you grow your intuition. The question on I'm stuck, I'm stagnant, and whatever. I think you need to, and first of all, like I said, do you have a career path? Do you have, do you have your sights on anything? Or are you just, I came into the bank and this is where I am? Do you have your sights on anything? Have you set that, okay, which is why I talk about your career path. You've got to, because if you don't know where you're going, then any path is going to lead you there, right? So you've got to say, and you've got to have a career path and be intentional about your career path. Sit down and think. Think for yourself. Think. Not and ask yourself, what do I want? Where do I want this to end up? Where do I see myself in a couple of years? What do I want to be? What do I want to become? So set that goal and say, I want to be bank operations, I want to be a branch manager. Okay, fine. What do I need to do to get to the bank manager job? What skills do I need to develop to get to the bank manager job? Now that bank manager job may not necessarily be, branch manager job may not necessarily be even in DTB. But the skills are required in the industry, okay? So develop them regardless. Develop them because that's what your eyes are set on. The challenge we have in many of us and how we begin our careers is that we don't really come to DTB because we wanted to become bankers. We come to DTB because as I finished work, an uncle called an auntie who called us someone and then their job came. True? So we are not here because we woke up one day and said, I want to work in a bank. No. And so the question now becomes for you, in this place where you are right now, how can you make the most of it? And if you can't make the most of it, what am I going to do with my life? Because you see, there's nothing like going through life and at the end of it all, you wake up and you are dissatisfied. That is the worst place to be. You may be living in a mansion with 26 rooms. And when you step out, they have 30 servants. And there are 10 cars. But inside you, you know that the person living in a one-roomed house is happier than you. It's not worth it. Those things you can't hide away from. You can't hide. So it is important for you to say, okay, I am in this place now. This may not be the career that I chose, but how can I make the most of it? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Because not all of us, our plans don't always go accordingly. Me, when I was whatever, I wanted to be a politician. I was so set on becoming a politician, on doing political science and standing up for this nation, and that was my path. Mass communication happened. I was told, Susan, you can't do this course, now you have to do mass comm, and so I ended up as a trained journalist. But you see, as you do that, you then realize that, okay, I can actually make something out of this. Do you understand? So even now that you're here, you have to decide that even if you are in this place, you have to say, how do I make the most of this? And how do I motivate myself to make the most of this? Because you see, in life, we only get to do life once. Do you understand? We only get to do life once. We don't get a second chance at it. I know when we are young, we think like, but the years go by so quickly, guys. So the point, so the thing to answer Edie's question is set your career path. You're in the bank now, you have a good job, set your career path. Start to enjoy where you are. Stop trying to tell yourself, I would be happy if I was. Start enjoying where you are now. Because you see, those who are single think they'll be happy when they are married. Those who are married, who are like, maybe if I was single. Those who are whatever, if I had children. Those who have children, maybe if I had none. In life, you will never have everything 100% perfect. So you need to start enjoying where you are now. If you're a bank teller, tell yourself, I am here now. Perhaps I did not choose it, but I'm going to be the best bank teller this side of the equator. And one day, your diligence is going to pay off. That's it. In life, let me tell you, there are principles of life. You don't have to be Muslim. You don't have to be Hindu. You don't have to be Christian. There are principles in life that work regardless of whether you believe it or not. That diligence and hard work always pay off. Always pay off. Always pay off. You don't have to be religious to believe that. It's a principle in life. It's like gravity. If I'm holding this thing and I drop it, it will drop. You don't have to believe it. It has to drop. Do you understand? You don't have to believe it. So the principle of hard work and diligence, you've got to understand now. Set your career path. Set your goals. Yes, you're 6 years in a place. But did you ever express a desire to move anywhere? Or you're just thinking that people are going to see me? They're going to see me, and because they're going to see me, then finally I'll move. No. Be deliberate about it. Set the goal. Who do you need to network? Which relationships do you need to say, you know what? I have been in this position for so long. This is what I want to do. How can I get there? What skills do I need? But as you're doing that, trust me, one day it will pay off. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Susan. I would like to invite our ED to give a vote of thanks to Susan.
Thank you. Ladies, please stand up and just give Susan a mighty hand clap. Thank you. You can have your seats. I hope you have been challenged. Have you been challenged? Yes. Have you been blessed? Yes. Are you going to go back and review your life? Yes. I myself am going to do that because I have been challenged. Thank you, Susan. Thank you so much. Thank you. We have been changed from inside out. And ladies, there's a lot of work we'll have to do. And let me tell you what we are looking for now in the bank. We're looking for people with good attitude. I'm telling you, ladies, good attitude will take you places. I didn't tell Susan what to say, but she said it. Good attitude will take you places. When they come and ask, they'll ask, does that person have a good attitude? And it's not by talking. It's by the people around you who see what you do. If you want to grow, please, go back and review. We all have mistakes. We all have things that we need to work on. I have things I need to work on. I'm going back to review myself and say, where do I want to be? So go back and review. The sky is the limit, ladies. The sky is the limit. DTB is growing. There are opportunities that are going to open up. There are opportunities that are going to open up. Position yourself. As she said, what are you reading? Do you know what's happening in the banking sector? Do you know the bank strategy, where we are going? Have you bothered to find out, not about numbers only, where do we plan to go in 5 years? How do I fit in? Do I need to learn some more skills? Ladies, the sky is the limit, and we can get there. Thank you, Susan. Thank you. So on behalf of management and staff and the ladies in DTB, Susan, thank you so much. We're very honored. The emotion, Susan, don't cry in front of us. Don't cry in front of us. On behalf of management and staff and the ladies in DTB, thank you so much. It's a small gift to appreciate your You talk to us. Thank you. Don't you think we need her again? Don't you think we need her again? All right, we'll do that. We'll do that. Thank you. Thank you, Susan. We'll now go into cutting of the cake before we go into sharing a meal together. But thank you, ladies, for coming. Thank you. And turning up in big numbers. This cake and this function, it really is to celebrate the ladies in DTB. We are almost 54% of staff in DTB are ladies. And so we have the power to influence and take positions, ladies. So let us use the opportunity. So we want to say we appreciate you ladies in DTB as we celebrate International Women's Month. March is a month of ladies, and that's why we're celebrating. So let's cut this cake in honor of God who created us and put us in DTB at such a time as this for us to do our work. So Sharon, come and sing whatever song needs to be sung for cutting cake.
Can we get 4 more people to join us? Preferably some people from outside. Lily and Dungu.
Oh, whose birthday is it? If it's your birthday, please come here. Yay.
Ladies, Doreen, come. And Doreen. You, Doreen.
Happy birthday.
You. Both of you. The Doreens. Nambasa.
Can we Sylvia, come. Sylvia? Yes.
Pamela.
Sylvia.
Pamela.
Eva, Mama.
Mama. Pamela.
These are the young ladies in DTB. The youngest ladies. Where is Mama?
She's coming.
Yes. These are very important people in DTB.
DJ, give us a song. Give us a happy song. Ten, 9, 10. No, 10. 9, 8, 7, 0. All right, ladies, we are going to our second last activity of the day. DJ, give us something soothing for the ears. DJ?
All right, DJ, bring it down a bit. Ladies, I think we are celebrating achievement today. Celebrating achievement today of ladies, okay? And because we're celebrating ladies, I have some few special things that we want to give out today.
And the first one goes to the early bird.
The early bird.
Yes.
Okay, I know the principle of time management is very important in growth. And because of that, the first person that arrived in this place will receive a cash voucher of 100,000 shillings. Ladies and gentlemen, who is that person?
Who came here the earliest?
Who came here the earliest?
And I'm looking for that person. Who came here the earliest?
Aha.
Who came here the earliest?
The CCTV.
And shockingly,
Uh-huh.
they are sitting outside.
They're sitting outside, by the way.
And not inside.
Okay.
So, who came here the earliest?
Who came here the earliest?
Who? Allen, Ago, you work here.
Allen Kampala Road, no.
Allen, no. Lillian Dungu.
Lillian Dungu, ladies and gentlemen, she came all the way from Kamocha and she was the first person here to arrive in this place. The branch manager, Kamocha. I think Susan will hand over this to her. Camera woman, I think I've changed roles. Take the pictures.
You have switched roles, Sam.
Just, yes, congratulations. Congratulations are in order. Thank you for keeping time. Friends, it's very important to manage time in everything that we do. Sharon, who is the next person I should recognize?
The second person should be the best dressed.
Best dressed. Huh.
A dress code was put out.
Guys, I think...
It was sent out.
Uh-huh. Okay, amongst
could
men...
Could it be me?
Amongst men, I think it's me.
Sam, no. Sam?
Okay.
No, you broke all the rules, Sam.
Okay, no flowers.
No flowers, nothing.
Okay.
Who is the best dressed today, ladies? Vote.
I think we need some nomination here.
Here we are going to vote 3 people. 3 people.
Pardon?
The best dressed.
I have had a name. Okay.
Who?
Let's show by show of hands.
By show of hands.
By show of hands. Let's Stacy.
By show of hands.
Who? Dushabe. Doreen, stand up.
Doreen up.
That is one.
That's one.
Can we get another person?
We need another person.
Give us another person there.
Madame Sunita.
Pardon?
Who? Sunita? Where's Sunita?
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 On the microphone. Let's get another vote from outside.
Where's Sunita? Where? Where's Sunita?
It's Sunita.
Okay.
Okay.
The third person?
Third person?
Who? Who? Who?
From the outside. Let's pick from there.
Sarah? Okay, Sarah, come. Where's Dora? But Dora...
Give someone a microphone there. Give someone a microphone.
Why are you hiding? Okay, the third person is walking in. She's going to give us a fashion show.
The third person is walking in. Ladies and gentlemen.
Is walking in.
Someone who is saying to be among the best dressed is Sarah, and she's walking in. Sarah. Sarah Tukey. She's alleged to be among the best dressed.
Sarah, no.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, can we, by show of hands, those for Doreen, show your hands. I am counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Only one hand up, only one.
Okay, 37 there. Bring it down.
Sam, before we got to the votes,
okay,
they told us we need flowers, right? A bright color, sneakers, and jeans. So we have to have all the 3 ladies in front, and we vote accordingly.
Okay. So, does Sarah have jeans? Is she wearing jeans? Sarah, go back. Is Sunita wearing sneakers? Sunita, sit down. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner is Doreen. Step forward. She also takes home 100,000 shillings. Camera woman, 100,000 shillings there. Doreen. And by the way, if you're positioning yourself Your look and feel is very important. So if you can't position yourself smart, then you can't position yourself high up there. So please keep it smart. All right, Sharon, who is the next person we are rewarding?
We need to reward the most engaged person today.
The most engaged person. How
Yeah.
are we measuring that one?
And that person should be able
uh-huh.
at least to tell us 4 things Susan has told us
Today.
to work on.
4 things that
4
Susan
things.
has told us to work on. Okay, there is a hand back there, a Kampala, someone behind at the back side, at the entrance. Step
Can you
forward.
walk here?
Just walk over here.
Kindly walk here.
Just walk over here.
Yes.
By the way, what's your name? Just step over here.
You are not going to read them, my dear. Yes.
Like step forward here.
They're coming off your head.
Off your head.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. The major thing that I've learned is my intuition, first of all, is before I make a decision, what is my inside telling me? Then secondly, also self-awareness. Do I know myself? What am I destined for? Then also our career. What are we looking at as people? I always tell Sam I want to take his position. I'm looking at doing marketing. And the other thing is the pids of life. How we're managing home, how we're managing our friends, our career, literally everything in our lives. So we have to create a balance of everything, especially the spiritual life, because it's what will determine what is ahead of us. Thank you so much, Susan, once again.
Wow. Hey, you really
Okay.
paid attention.
Ladies, can you get another one? No copying, no repeating.
You have to say something completely different.
Okay, let's get one person.
Okay.
One of the Hajjat is there.
Madina.
Okay. Step forward here. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. It's nice seeing you. Now, what I've learned, our emotions. We overcry. Let's tuck that in and have a great attitude. We need to have a great attitude. Let's see where we want to go and get there. Let's make the right connections. Please, let's not sulk on our desks, thinking that the ED will come and say, hey, come, do you need a promotion? Things have to change this year for better. Now, most importantly, we need to understand ourselves. Madina, you're short-tempered. How am I going to overcome that? Sunita is going to come and tell me, did you send the messages? No. Next time she will not want to ask me for the messages. Someone else will do it for me and I will sit down and start sulking. So, when we understand ourselves, we shall do better. Now, the power of knowledge. If you know what you want and what to say to people, you will get there. She said you're working in the banking industry and they're asking you about the rate. You're like, for me today, I was, when you have knowledge, you can talk about anything. My son I can go back in the evening and tells me, Mommy, you know this bird sheds off its feathers. Like, oh, which bird? He's like, Mommy, the phoenix. I'm like, How did you know that? No, I do, not Geo World. I'm like, okay, so I need to do more reading so that I am empowered to speak to someone who is important to push me forward. One last thing. We need to keep our social circles. Now, I have been talking to different people because I wanted to move. But what has made it easy for me? Sukuma. What happens? As you're pushing, throwing your leg around, it is easy to talk to someone. The next time you find them in the corridor, you're like, do you have a placement there? I will notify you when I do. You understand? Social circles are very important. We need to work, but also we need to have our social circles. That is it. Thank you.
All right. Hajat, stay back here. Stay back here. Ladies and gentlemen. Bring it down. Bring it down. Just, ladies and gentlemen, all these ladies have done it very well.
Yes.
And because of that, we are rewarding both of them. Thank you. Camera woman, camera woman. All right, another lady there. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for the energy. Ladies, I can assure you, if you want to grow, pay attention to detail. Be attentive. Thank you, ladies, for paying attention to detail. Thank you very much. And as we are growing, or as you want to grow, there are things we should do. Don't fear responsibility. Take on that step. If someone says, be there, be able to take on that task. And because of that, these two vouchers will go to ladies that took on the responsibility of being the MCs of the day. Can I request Sharon can come first? Actually, Sharon left the runway as a model to come and work in the bank. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Vivian was pushed by her colleagues. They're like, please, Vivian, go. She almost refused to come, but she took on the mantle. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So don't hesitate when you're told to take on a responsibility. It also helps you to go to the next level. Thank you very much. Ladies, we've had a good time, I'm so sure. As you look at to growing career, I'm so sure that you'll also look forward to growing your family, your love life, will grow your performance at your desk, and of course, all of us at DTB will grow because of you. Thank you very much. And two things remaining. One is we have a gift that has been planned for the ladies that have attended this session. Now, I am so happy that all of us are here. I'm going to request that you don't rush to receive. We shall deliver wherever you are, okay? We shall enable you to get these items. But before that, we also have something that we have prepared for you. That's a beautiful snack. All of us will have something to take on. I request Sharon to tell us something about that as we proceed.
So given our spacing today, we are only going to go 10-10. So for the setup, it's very beautiful, and you will know why, like when you get there, why it should be 10.
Or else you might disorganize the whole setup.
So, and then also the drinks are either tea or juice. Okay? So you either take tea or you take juice.
And can I just request, ladies, remember, ladies don't eat so much.
Yes,
we just take a little bit.
You can just take very, very small.
Just a little bit. You're on cameras, okay? Thank you very much. Can you get someone to bless our food? Just one person to bless our food so we can continue to the next session. Responsibility takers, where are you? And you want to grow as a pastor, where are you? Christine, okay. You want a guy to take over? Okay.
Since we have a baby among us, I will sing. Oh God our Father, bless our food, which you have given us to eat now. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Okay. Sorry, Loretta and Tim. Okay. Sorry, I don't have any more vouchers, but I promise you next engagement. Can I request? All of us are created because of God's love for us, right? And let's get this moment to dedicate ourselves before God. I'm going to request Susan, who is a mother, a mentor, an expert in different fields, as she has told you, but she also does good in prayer. Susan, please pray for us.
Can we stand? Father, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, I just want to thank you for each and every one of these beautiful people gathered here today. The ladies and the gentlemen who are here by happenstance. And we just want to pray your blessing upon each and every one of them, Lord. A blessing upon them in their work, a blessing upon them in their families, a blessing, Father, for their career paths, a blessing, Father, for their present and their future, a blessing that allows them to let go of the past and that allows them to move forward to become the women that you created them to be. In this room, Father, I know that they are managers, they are leaders, they're important people. There are also those who, the importance, Father, is in how they look after their families because they are raising the next generation of leaders. Father, I thank you and I pray that you develop in each and every one of them the skills that they require. I pray that they would be purposeful and focused on where it is that they are going. I ask, Lord, that they would be able to drop off those things that are not gainful, those things that are holding them down, and they will be able to focus to become the people that you created them to be. I ask, Father, that there are those who are in situations that are holding them back, domestic situations that are holding them back. I ask that you give them the wisdom to deal with difficult situations. I pray that all these women will mature into beautiful roses, oh God, that just give you glory, because today you've allowed me, Father, to speak into their lives. And so I thank you and I place each and every one of them that you meet them at their point of need. There are those, Father, who are facing difficult health situations. And even now, I just want to ask, Lord, that you'd intervene and heal those difficult situations, Father. I thank you, God, and I speak a blessing of God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit on each and every one of them, whether they believe it or not. May they receive it in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Thank you very much, Susan. God bless you as well. Requesting that please stay seated. My team, that is Sharon and Viola, will lead us to, not Viola, what's the other name? Vivian.
Vivian.
They'll lead us to our serving point. So could I request ED and Susan plus HR, please lead the team to pick something from the diner. Thank you. 10 talking about Basatu, then the 10 will come. I request Lady Cynthia and the 7 here, please also join.
the relationship manager for escrow business. Women should mentor and sponsor each other. Mentorship is a key driver for a successful career. So if you are in a senior position, please advocate and advise the younger. If you're in a
It's a high tea. I have some. First, we need to clear out for other people. Let's clear away. Friends, remember in your cultures, women don't eat chicken, so don't try it here. Pastor, mwetege mangu.
My name is Daphne Maria Kajoina. I'm a project manager. Women should listen to each other, provide a listening ear and a shoulder to lean on, because I realize most women have problems and are going through challenges. So if we provide a listening ear, it can make women better in the world.
I go by the names Lori Meba Palamit, and I'm the manager mobile financial services at Diamond Trust Bank. Women should be considerate and empathetic to one another for us to be able to make a better world, not only for women, but for the entire world. Because if you place yourself in someone else's shoes, you'll have a different angle and understanding of where someone is coming from.
My name is Sheila Grace Kemigisha. I'm the relationship manager for escrow business. Women should mentor and sponsor each other. Mentorship is a key driver for a successful career. So if you are in a senior position, please advocate and advise the younger. If you're in a junior position, you can use your past experience to mentor a young woman. Be the woman that fixes another woman's crown without telling the world that it was crooked.
My name is Daphne Maria Kajoina. I'm a project manager. Women should listen to each other, provide a listening ear and a shoulder to lean on, because I realize most women have problems and are going through challenges. So if we provide a listening ear, it can make women better in the world.
I go by the names Lori Meba Palamit, and I'm the manager mobile financial services at Diamond Trust Bank. Women should be considerate and empathetic to one another for us to be able to make a better world, not only for women, but for the entire world. Because if you place yourself in someone else's shoes, you'll have a different angle and understanding of where someone is coming from.
My name is Sheila Grace Kemigisha. I'm the relationship manager for escrow business. Women should mentor and sponsor each other. Mentorship is a key driver for a successful career. So if you are in a senior position, please advocate and advise the younger. If you're in a junior position, you can use your past experience to mentor a young woman. Be the woman that fixes another woman's crown without telling the world that it was crooked.
My name is Daphne Maria Kajoina. I'm a project manager. Women should listen to each other, provide a listening ear and a shoulder to lean on, because I realize most women have problems and are going through challenges. So if we provide a listening ear, it can make women better in the world.
I go by the names Lori Meba Palamit, and I'm the manager mobile financial services at Diamond Trust Bank. Women should be considerate and empathetic to one another for us to be able to make a better world, not only for women, but for the entire world. Because if you place yourself in someone else's shoes, you'll have a different angle and understanding of where someone is coming from.
My name is Sheila Grace Kemigisha. I'm the relationship manager for escrow business. Women should mentor and sponsor each other. Mentorship is a key driver for a successful career. So if you are in a senior position, please advocate and advise the younger. If you're in a junior position, you can use your past experience to mentor a young woman. Be the woman that fixes another woman's crown without telling the world that it was crooked.